Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Wake Up Nigeria. Now, Thursday is probably the best day of the week. Why?
Why?
That's the question. I'm supposed to ask that question.
Well, now this is why I think Titi said it's the best day, because it's the day before the last work day of the week. Now, it's even more special as it is a day away from the end of January Pro Max, and January XS Max.
Yes. So January is almost over, people, and we have a full show prepared especially for you, our lovely viewers. You know we love you.
Okay, now you should keep it locked down to the end. But Tokwe is there. I know Tokwe and Titi. I don't know if it's out yet. But I know you guys are on a challenge. Is it out yet or it's still on the wraps?
It's not out yet.
It's not out yet. Okay,
We're just
don't worry.
waiting for final approval.
For final approval.
Yes.
Okay.
They have to put the signature there and
So-
stamp.
Now you know it's percentage based.
Yes. So
I have to let you know. I told Tokwe that.
What was that supposed to be?
All right.
What was that? Why are you trying to kill my vibe?
My name is Mike Mesikeno.
My name is Titi Layo Oyinson. And we're streaming live, so you'll find out exactly what Mike is going on about if you go to tvcentertainment.tv, and of course stay with us on Facebook Live at TVC Connect.
Send those wonderful comments coming in. Use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yes, so. Now, this app we talk about every day. You people don't understand why we're talking about it. Just visit, just download it first, then ask your questions later.
Yep.
Android, iOS, from anywhere in the world, you can watch us live with our app.
By the way, I'm supposed to be wearing my chain. I know you sell chains or something. Beautiful chains. I'm not wearing the chain now.
What?
But if you want the best of chains, just Tokwe will hook you up.
I'm gonna hook you up.
Jules Bati, she hook
Those
you up.
earrings, though,
She hook you up.
It's all Jules by T.
they are blinging, baby. Love it, love it. For our very first musical performance, we have singer and rapper Hane. Strategize.
Skyboy is up next, and another musical performance. You'll want to feel this one.
And for book chat, we have a really interesting one. Aisha Adams will be here to talk about her book called The White Elephant. Practical tips on marital issues for women.
On art display, we have Abdul Latif Salaudin, a visual artist who will join us to share some of his works and his inspiration behind his works later on the show.
And of course, being Thursday, we have tech, and the founder of Coven Works, Olushola Amushon, is going to be here, joining Mike once again to complete their discussion on artificial intelligence and how it affects our future.
Yep. And to round up the show, we have award-winning actor, model, scriptwriter, and movie producer Jumoke Ajoke, who will join us for a chat.
Tell fún any certificate pé yan ni wo náà. Ẹni tá bá ta ká fi wà tupa tó lohun ajitan wo.
Interesting.
Looking back now, I think Yoruba movies have grown on being savage. So I've seen a lot of Yoruba actresses, and I've seen the movies, and like the ones that are covered are the ones that are the most savage. Like they be dropping, they be.
Sometimes it's the line delivery. And the attitude and the spunkiness behind the line delivery. It could be
Yoruba
just
words are quite heavy.
Yes.
So when you drop it and you're dropping an insult,
Yeah. Woman wole.
as in you feel it.
Yes.
Okay, was this actress? Can't remember her name now. Who there was something on her online about her putting out her mother, and she had issues with landlord or something, and then some people replied and she didn't like the reply, and she was cursing in quotes, and she goes all English, and then when she wants to now drop it, Mama switch to Yoruba.
You know, there's this thing they say about, I'm sure it happens in almost every language, when there's some expressions that you want to make, but English does not actually give it. So you have to say it in your language so that the person might not understand it, but you're already comfortable that I feel it.
Okay, so I'll kind of rephrase that because it depends on what your first language is.
True.
Like they say, you know you're in a relationship or you're in a marriage when you start, using those very deep Yoruba quotes or with quotes from your language or your first language to talk to each other. And interestingly, I say this a lot. People laugh at me when I say it. Yoruba isn't my first language. It's my second language.
So what's
Because
your first
when I'm deeply emotional about anything,
Start speaking English.
Queen's English comes out. So that's when my husband knows I'm angry, when I start blasting grammar. So it's deep. It's deep. Is it what?
Like safe now, so I'm saying PG me my first language.
Exactly.
Now. Because if I want vex now,
Pidgin just starts coming out, like?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Really?
Seriously, I really
You've never been angry, Mike?
No, I've been. Of course, now. I think most times I want to keep quiet.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah. Like, so maybe when I'm really angry, at those points, it's like, the words can't qualify.
So what language?
Or maybe I, it's not so good. Maybe I curse.
You curse.
I think that's a not natural thing.
No.
And I think, and I know I was talking about, we talked about the other day, I think that people at times when they're angry, people say that's when the real thing comes out. I think most times it's not true. I feel like sometimes when people are angry, they want to hurt you. Yes, so if I'm angry with you, maybe something you did, and I'm thinking of a clap back, so I might say something that's not really true because I know it will hurt you.
Okay.
And I want to hurt you at that time. Okay, someone is like, oh, look at you, nonsense. All you didn't do is just jump up and jump down.
Yeah.
And then maybe a basketballer.
Yeah.
And then I know you're trying your best. And I'm like, no, you can't play. All you do is just jump up and jump. I'm like, yeah, so you've always felt that way.
Yeah.
But actually, I wanted to hurt you or something.
So we were talking
That's
about
valid,
it yesterday.
but I really do not think that when you're angry, you don't say the things on your mind. Maybe it's subjective, like it depends on people. But
It
I
does.
genuinely think that when you're angry, you actually say the truth about how you feel.
True.
I don't think it's easy
True,
to
not
hide
always.
emotions when
When
you're
you're
angry. But
Because I'm talking for myself. I wanted to
So
hurt
you-
people. And I know that with
Okay.
words.
Yeah,
You want
with
to hurt
words,
people
of
with
course.
words. So when you want to hurt people with words, you could say things that you don't really mean. I'm serious. And it happens with one sort of way.
So when
You may do a
I
survey.
and Mike have an argument, I
We do
wouldn't
a
take
survey,
whatever he says.
you know. Yeah, don't take it too serious. Don't take it too
But I will
serious.
come for
But
you.
we were talking about some issues yesterday, if you can remember, during in the kitchen, and it was deep because of the women.
Oh, yes.
Okay, there's a particular woman who's been convicted now of murdering her husband. As in, anger
Yes.
can get to another level. So
Yeah.
we're preaching love.
Yeah, try and
we're
control
preaching
it.
Kindness.
Yeah.
We
do your
have to
best.
control our emotions, people. We actually have to.
All right.
Mike
Okay.
is going to be taking the news update now.
Yep, and let's take the news now. The federal government has asked Nigerians to avoid traveling to China over the coronavirus disease spreading across the Asian country. Speaking at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting, Minister of Health Osage Ehanire advised all passengers from China to stay in isolation for 2 weeks before reuniting with their families. The Lagos State Ministry of Health has also called on Chinese nationals living in Lagos that will be embarking from China for their New Year celebration and Nigerians that have visited affected countries of coronavirus to present themselves for 10 to 14 days quarantine. This is one of the steps to stop the spread of a new pathogen called coronavirus. Commissioner for Health Akin Abayomi, while briefing journalists on the level of preparedness of the state government to prevent and curb the dangerous disease, said Lagos is ready for the vulnerable outbreak spread. 10 to 14 days represents the incubator period for the infection. Professor Abayomi charged Nigerians, especially Lagos residents, not to engage in self-medication or treatment as the state is ready to treat victims for free of charge.
Lagos is also particularly vulnerable because of its peculiar nature. It is the largest megacity in Africa, has a very high dense population. Therefore, it becomes particularly vulnerable to outbreak spread. And it is our duty to ensure that we put all strategies in place to try and prevent the entry and or the spread of the virus within our communities.
And the Ondo State government has confirmed 18 deaths of Lassa fever in 4 weeks. It has also recorded 180 confirmed cases of the disease. 6 local governments are currently being affected by Lassa fever in the state. Director of Disease Control at the State Primary Health Care Board, Victor Adefisoye, confirmed the development while briefing newsmen in Akure, Ondo State capital.
About 180 confirmed cases, and about 65 of them on admission now. They are receiving treatment. So far, so good. We still maintain the total number of 18 deaths. 18 as at yesterday. So, and by the grace of God, with all the strategies that government is putting in place, we are not likely to have any deaths.
The regional security network set up by governors of the Southwest to curb insecurity is getting knocks from a civil society group known as the Societal Safety Network. The group alleges that the operation of these security arrangements could endanger the lives of people of Yoruba ethnic origin living in other parts of the country. The group commended the ideals of developmental agenda of Western Nigeria and the progressive action plan on the economy of the Southwest. But the Societal Safety Network expressed great reservations about the hurried nature of setting up Amotekun without regard for proper legal framework and clear-out mode of operation.
The curiosity of our governors to hurriedly commence Operation Amotekun without clear-cut mode of operation inform the following questions. Can our governors tell the world who are the personnel of Operation Amotekun? Who train the personnel, and will they bear arms or not? Do they have powers to arrest, detain and prosecute, or where will they keep suspects upon arrest? How true is the information that Amotekun is a decoy for commencement of Odua People's Congress in new guise?
At the House of Representatives, the resolution is the same. They want the service chiefs to resign or be sacked. The resolution is the outcome of a debate that lasted more than 5 hours after a motion by Chief Whip Mohammed Mungunu on the need to curb the incessant attacks. After the deliberations, lawmakers asked the president to declare a state of emergency and want the security chiefs to relocate to Maiduguri in Borno State until relative peace is achieved.
You cannot fly the road like individually like that. And the vehicles have to congregate for about 1 week. Then soldiers will come and escort them for the purpose of carrying out their economic activity. So this is how serious the situation is, coupled with the recent closure and then the challenges we are facing around the Maiduguri-Damaturu Road. And that
has affected me directly from the northeast, from Michika, where my CAN chairman was beheaded. Mr. Speaker, at that moment, we know the Nigerian army have tried to repel the Boko Haram on that fateful day. But Mr. Speaker, the challenge is the number of army in my community as a very big local government that has 16 electoral wards with population of over 1 million residents. We have less than 30 Nigerian army.
The insurgents has waned, and we need to know reasons why this is happening. As a matter of fact, we had contacted the service chiefs through the CDS. They're supposed to come and address the Committee of Defense and relevant committees on the state and progress or otherwise they've made in this fight against insurgency.
All the several battles that are taking place all over the country.
And it's a wrap on the news for this hour. We'll take this time out and return with sports. Stay with us.
Today is Thursday, January 30th. It's coming to an end, and we're looking
end of the month already.
Started with the Punch.
Yes, we are, and the Punch has this headline: Insecurity. Senators hit Buhari hard. Perform or resign. Sack service chiefs. Lawmakers tell president. And there are 3 different quotes there that are quite strong from PDP, Abaribe, and of course the presidency. In the photo story here, it says Balogun Market Inferno consumes 7 buildings and 2 collapse. There's a lot more information on pages 4 and 5. Moving to the top of the page here, market dives below 15 trillion naira as investors lose 267 billion naira. Nigeria to repatriate fresh $321 million Abacha loot. I told my son to sack his secretary to avert adultery, says Adeboye. Nigeria owes World Bank $81 billion, says DMO. And Uzodinma promises to divert security vote to salary payment. Tackle subsidies, privatize power transmission, NESG tells federal government. And I'll wrap with this one. It says here, Lagos investors perfect 100 billion naira bond for infrastructure, others. That's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
Yeah, we've got the Vanguard here, still talking about insecurity. That's been on for a few days now. Fire service chiefs, now senators, reps tell Buhari. Reps pass resolution asking service chiefs to resign or get fired. Declare national security emergency, Senate tells Buhari. Uproar in Senate as Abaribe asks Buhari APC to resign. Abaribe ought to be in correctional center, replies the presidency. Corps members to receive 33,000 naira as allowance. Wow. Omar Agege not convicted in the U.S., a court says. And up here, a few other stories. Fire destroys 7 shopping plazas. Wow. At Balogun Market. This was yesterday. Edo 2020, Obaseki declares war, threatens to expel Oshomole. He's overbearing, says Iriase. Sanwo-Olu raises 100 billion naira infrastructure development bond for Lagos. And finally, we have a hearty photo story here at the bottom. We have the First Lady of Delta State with the mother of 5 children, quintuplets, celebrating their first birthday. Wow, that's amazing. Over in Delta State, and this was yesterday. That's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
Imagine what taking care of 5 babies would be
5
like
babies.
at one
They
time.
all survived. All 1 year old now, growing big and strong.
Amazing. We have the Nation newspaper up next. It says here, presidency attacks senator for asking Buhari to quit. So insecurity, senators, reps push for service chief's sack. Moving to just below the masthead there, it says Omar Agege never convicted in the U.S. Court declines removal request. Government to recover $321 million loot packed with U.S. Jersey next week. At the top left there on coronavirus, government bans China travels, returnees to self-isolate. Millions lost as fire raises 10 plazas in Balogun Market. Makinde meets IG on Amotekun Council crisis. No to chaos in Oyo. That's what we have on the cover of the Nation.
We've got the Tribune here, still on the insecurity issue. That's what most of the headlines are saying this morning. House of Reps wants service chiefs removed. 5 senators want them removed, and Senate Minority Leader wants Buhari to resign. And a few other riders there. Federal government approves 33,000 monthly allowance for corps members. And defecting Imo lawmakers have lost their seats, says PDP. Federal government to repatriate fresh $321 million Abacha loot. And minimum wage consequential adjustment threatens full implementation of Southwest states. And Lagos Ekiti start implementation as Ondo begins payment this month. A few other stories. Lassa fever. Ondo confirms 20 dead, 112 on watch list, and 3 die in rivers. And over 1 billion naira goods destroyed as fire raises Balogun Market. And these more on the cover of the Tribune.
This day newspaper is next. It says here, service chiefs on the spot as Senators' House call for their resignation. Senate urges Buhari to declare national security emergency, summons IG. Lagos raises 100 billion naira from capital market for infrastructure. On coronavirus, concerns heighten as Chinese expatriates return from holiday. China Eastern, Air China, Air France, Ethiopian Airlines, Egypt Air, Virgin Airways, Emirates, Qatar Air head to Nigeria from China. Federal government begins major airports airfield lighting to improve visibility. Lagos, Abuja, Kaduna, Port Harcourt, Enugu, others to benefit from upgrade. Electricity workers, meanwhile, give 14-day ultimatum to resume strike. It's interesting the way they put both those stories together right at the top there. That's what we have on the cover of this day newspaper.
Yeah, we've got the Daily Sun. Let's just squeeze that in very quickly. Talking about coronavirus. Don't go to China, federal government tells Nigerians, and shuts Abuja supermarkets selling illegally imported seafoods from China. People need to be careful. Fire wreaks havoc at Lagos Balogun Market. Guts 7 plazas. Scores injured. And thank God no deaths there. And row in National Assembly over insecurity. Obaseki threatens to deal with Oshomole, whatever that means. An alleged U.S. conviction, a court dismisses suit seeking Omoagige's removal. Finally, Southeast security outfit coming, says Governor Umahi there. And that's what we have on the cover of the Daily Sun.
And it's about time for us to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be giving you the traffic updates. Hello and good morning. It's about time for us to give you some tips on the best route for you this morning. Now, everyone has somewhere they're going to at this point. We're trying to just get you to that destination a bit faster. As always, we'd like to encourage that you help other road users by dropping some relevant traffic, and we say relevant for a reason, relevant traffic situation reports on our social media pages. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. Yeah, we need to add that bit, always on TVC. We are starting from Aja, yes, and there's always quite a lot of people moving from Aja area heading towards Victoria Island. And right now, if you decide to make a move right now, it's going to take you about 1 hour, 15 minutes if you avoid, if you take the toll gates. And I will add that there are some major gridlocks already built up. And as soon as you take note of them, you'll probably have a better journey. So if you're moving from Aja bus stop right now, you won't have any tension until you get to around the Chevron Junction. And now the Chevron Junction seems to be a major artery that's clogged right now, and it starts from where the Lekki Conservation Area is. Now, everyone that knows the Lekki Conservation Area knows that it's like a really weird turning there right after the toll gate, and it goes all the way through the Chevron Junction and goes all the way down through the peninsula to Agungi. So Agungi, Chevron, that place is clogged. It says here 31-minute delay. So if you do have other things you need to get done at home, maybe you might want to just chill and let the traffic move on. But you will have some challenges around Elegushi Junction as well, all the way through to Freedom Way. Freedom Way is also another junction that seems to be clogged up right now. You have about a 15-minute delay there as well. Then the next delay is by the second roundabout. So it's not going to be a roundabout for much longer, I hear. The construction there is taking quite a bit of time and effort, but hopefully in good time it'll change things up with traffic in that area. But it's not that bad. You'll move along quite quickly until you get to the first roundabout, and of course the Lekki toll gate is jammed. It's always jammed these days, especially since people are avoiding the Ikoyi-Lekki toll. Just take some patience, and you won't find any more traffic until you get to the Falomore bypass, and from there it's plain sailing all the way to Bonny Camp. I know the team in the kitchen have been trying to check out what's happening on Twitter. Any updates?
So you have this covered.
Well, I
Just
have updates from Giddy Traffic. As at 6:14 a.m., it says it's actually with pictures of a truck loaded with plywood spilled its content on the road along Marine Beach Inward North Avenue by the service lane, blocking the entire lane. I don't know what area of Lagos that is, but if you are familiar with that area.
Marine
Beach.
Marine Beach. Okay, I think what passed there was, can't remember I got there, but I know
You've passed there.
I've passed there sometime, but yeah. So if you know Marine Beach, just be careful.
Yeah, so there's looks like there's some traffic at under the bridge in Ojota. Nobody knows why that's going on, but there's construction going on there at the moment.
Yes.
There's, trying to expand the road as well. So probably why that's happening. So just be careful around Ojota this morning. A bit of traffic, but you know.
Yes, I even saw that yesterday. Yes, half of the
Yes.
road, so they are working on it.
Yeah,
And they are working on a number of roads at the same time.
Yes, they are.
So I want to commend the governor. You know, that state of emergency on roads is really coming, you know, in full effect.
Yeah,
We're seeing different roads, and it might be inconveniencing, but I feel like it's a good kind of inconvenience.
Yeah, a lot of the traffic officials are already on ground, so hopefully that's also moving things along a little bit. So that's happening around Ojota right now today.
Okay. Thank you so much, team. We also have an update from the Lasu Iba area of Lagos. Now, if anyone is coming from Lasu Iba, Festac area, heading towards what we should call the mainland, heading towards the metropolis, you will have about an hour, 5-minute journey ahead of you. It's interesting to note that if you're coming from Ajah heading to VI, it's going to take you longer than if you're coming from Festac to at least Ijora. So major traffic spots, of course, are the Lasu Junction, but you won't have much stress if you take the alternative route, which takes you through Isheri Junction. But if you come back onto the expressway, that's the Lagos Badagry Expressway, you'll be free mostly until you get to Festac Second Gate. But the Trade Fair Complex, for now, because it's a Thursday, is still free. It might not be that free for much longer once the traders start beginning to fill up that area. But it seems to be quite a free road. I'm not seeing any tension until you get to mile 2. And once you climb over that bridge, you have plain sailing all the way to Orile. Now, Orile does seem to be a little slow. It's a little, tense at that particular junction, but it can be avoided if you take some alternative routes. There are 2 other places you could pass through to get to Ijora right now, but they are longer for you. If you just stick to the Lagos Badagry Expressway, you will be there in 1 hour and 5 minutes. I'm wondering what it was like for you, Tokwe, coming to work this morning from the island. How was it?
Oh, well, I don't come from the island anymore.
Okay.
At this point,
you don't?
Well,
At this point, yeah, I stay at Surulere for now. But yesterday I did, yesterday I had mixed feelings.
okay.
Because when I wanted to leave the office, I checked the maps and then it showed me that there was a lot of traffic. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to have to take a bike.
Okay.
Because a bike is not going to take me as long as taking the taxis would. But you know what, Titi, just come over. Let's talk about that during the coffee.
All right, then. I'll be heading into the kitchen to
Are we
meet
talking
the
about your
team.
journey?
I can't wait to see your updates
We're not talking
online.
about
Once
it.
again, use the hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC and we'll be looking out for them.
I mean, while she's journeying here,
I'm talking about your journey.
My point is, I had to take a bike, and then when we got to the Ojota axis, you know when you're so proud of yourself that for once you made a smart decision.
And the road was free.
The road was choked, it was like a standstill.
So you were happy you took
I was so proud of myself.
But then again, I think it was because of the construction.
Yeah, the construction. Then I'm now thinking they're going to stop bikes very soon.
No? Yeah, major highways and all of
happy
that.
days.
You know, so...
From the major highways, yeah.
So yesterday, I don't know why people are not talking about it as much as I would have expected, but the Balogun Market fire.
Yes.
So I saw some videos, and that was yesterday night. And man, I saw, many things are going through my mind, you know. It's not about blame now. I feel it's responsibility, although it's semantics. We're saying the same thing. Responsibility and blame at times can be the same thing, semantics. But, you know, the traders themselves have some responsibility to themselves.
Yeah.
You understand? Because a fire service truck cannot get to those places where the fires were burning. You know how Balogun Market is.
Yeah, it's pretty.
You know how that market
tightly
is.
packed building.
You need to see how people were throwing mannequins, and you know, the efforts were futile. Like it didn't seem like it would do anything. And the fire was raging. You see the places like this.
Yeah.
How moving forward,
This is-
what
this is-
can be
this is
done?
less than 2 months after the last fire, which we also talked about and reported here, where the governor also went, and you saw people pouring water, using buckets from the top of buildings,
buildings and all that.
fences and things.
What
like
can
that.
be done?
Look,
How
I
do
feel
we-
like so especially in a place like Lagos Island, Yaba, where you have really tightly packed shops, there has to be proper health and safety measures in the shops. So once you have issues with tightly packed buildings, every shop should have safety features. Fire extinguishers. They should have proper electrical appliances and, of course, proper wiring and all of that. And we should then have inspectors who can come and ensure that these guys have. I mean, back in the day, I mean, just 10 years ago, people didn't have fire extinguishers in their cars. Now everybody does because of consistent checks. It was almost on a weekly basis. People were checking, where's your fire extinguisher in your car? So now most people have. Of course, some people still don't. But even bus drivers have fire extinguishers. So they can salvage their buses. So we have less fires, car fires now, along Third Mainland Bridge and other places than we used to, just because of fire extinguishers. In the old days, you would have at least 1 or 2 cars getting burnt with every few days. But now you don't see so much of that. So the same thing can happen with the shop. Every shop should have a fire extinguisher. People should be trained to know what to do when there's an electrical fire. So you can stop it before it gets to the next shop and then the next. 7 plazas got burnt yesterday.
You see, that's the thing. You see, and for this one, I would want to say, moving forward, the traders themselves should take responsibility. Like, form a board, an association, somebody wants to open a shop, you have people amongst yourself. You don't wait for the government, because now who is affected? The government?
How?
It's you. So the traders themselves should come out and say, okay, before somebody starts up a shop, is it wired? Is it well wired? Is it well wired? Are there safety? You can check it. Fire extinguisher.
You're not even thinking about the amount of generators that are in that market. There are some places you get to and you see like 10 gens in one corner and all the cables with tape on them, taped, join, like 10 shops using one gen. Seriously, just to charge phones and put on a fan.
And
That's
then
all.
So you have
there's
all
this
those things
Nigerian
happening,
All that is
I don't know
happening.
if it happens in other country, but I know it's a Nigerian thing. When I think it was even one of the reasons of the fire yesterday, when you want to pour fuel into your gen, they don't turn it off.
They leave it
I
on.
don't know what you're watching on TV that cannot wait. Because we're talking about it in the makeup room, and one of the makeup artists was sharing how her relative got burnt because he didn't want the movie to go off or something like that.
Wow.
And he went to pour the fuel while the generator was on. You know, just this
you
little
have
things.
little bits of petrol pouring on the exhaust.
And little things
Hot
like
exhaust,
just having a fire blanket. So the fire blanket is old school, but it actually works. Smothering fire, for instance, is one of the quickest ways to kill a fire. It's quicker than the fire extinguisher. Fire extinguisher will take you about 5-10 seconds. A fire blanket can literally smother a fire. But it's actually a business opportunity for someone out there who can invest in these things, bring it here, start a campaign, and start, giving it out to people that need it.
They have shops.
So
We used to have fire buckets in offices before and things like that.
With sand, right?
Yeah, with sand.
That's what you used to say about pouring gen. They used to use it and show their hardness.
Yeah.
If you switch off, you just say, this guy no be that's so this one no be hard guy. So when your gen is on, you're like, Baba for this guy's a hard man.
But ventilation is also an issue, though.
Hard man.
So obviously, oxygen fuels fire. It fuels fire. Which is probably why it didn't even go that far, because those places are so tightly packed that these people they probably don't even have the chance to breathe.
7 plazas is a lot.
No, I'm saying it went far, but not as far as it could have been if there was more oxygen in that place.
So I'll just say to them that the traders themselves, let's learn to take responsibility for ourselves, right?
I think so. Associations, everybody should step up now and be a part of this. It's becoming too much.
Okay.
We're going to take a break and be back with birthday shout-outs.
Thank you very much, Yomi and Titi. Now, our very first performer for this morning, Canis. He is a singer, rapper, and songwriter who has been doing music from a very young age. So far, he has a couple of songs to his name, but he's set to launch with a new song titled Strategize. which talks about efficiency. And today being his birthday, he is here to perform something special for us. Happy birthday! So tell us about Strategize.
Strategize is
your mic.
Strategize is a motivational song.
Okay.
Yeah, just trying to put things together and make sure whatever the situation is, you're trying to achieve something in it.
Okay. You know what? Now is your birthday, so I'm sure that the energy you're going to give us is going to be an extra energy.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, blow us away then.
Keep on rocking and let them keep on talking. I won't let Pamoti do all, but keep on rocking. One day like Romeo, yeah.
Welcome to the second hour on your #1 breakfast show on television. Number
That's
one.
right. We are
Actual number one.
We are actually number
most watched.
We're not just saying this. We need you to know because things are just getting started. We still have 1 hour, 45 minutes to spend with you. Please stay right there with us.
Yeah, I arrived late this morning. Because I woke up late, you know, so sometimes when you've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Monday is good, right?
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, okay. And then Wednesday, you're like, okay. And then Thursday, you're like, oh, man. So this morning was one of those days.
Yeah, well, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But I've been getting to bed extra early because I just love the fact that when we get here, we get to be with you guys every morning.
Yeah.
My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Opre. There's still much more to come on the show. Remember that we are streaming live right now, tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
Send in those comments, send in the love, send in the prayers. We can't wait to see them. Use our social media platforms as soon as you can. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
We also have an app available for download both on the Android and iOS stores, and this app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world.
Indeed, we have a chef in the building.
Yeah, you know him, you love him.
Yes, Natido Cuisine is back. Yes.
Here.
Chef
And he's
Nata.
making something interesting this morning
Yeah.
with no Gary.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
but
Gary,
before
no
you
Gary.
take me away, Yomi, I like the switch up in your look today. Really nice.
Yeah.
So they're
This is-
famsing me again.
Wow.
Like,
You see, you run the risk of having a response like that, Tope. So,
Wow.
you know,
oh,
you run the
yes,
risk.
yeah. Okay, so thank you, Tope. So I'm trying not to be,
To be old.
yeah.
What?
So-
You really
Trying not
do.
to be old, I understand. Nice one.
I think you're one of the most youthful dressers I've ever seen, Mr. Wokwe. But
I wore
that
a full
aside,
three-piece suit on Monday. So
that it still looked youthful. But my issue now is, he woke up like this. He woke
No,
up
I
like
didn't.
this. Yeah.
I got some makeup on actually right now. We still have Skyboy joining us this morning, coming with a second performance very shortly.
On Book Chat, we have Aisha Adams joining us. She'll be talking about her book, The White Elephant. Practical tips on marital issues for women.
Then an art display, Abdul Latif Salahuddin, a visual artist, will be sharing some of his works with us on art display.
For tech, founder of Coven Works, Olushola Amushon, will be here, joining Mike once again to complete their discussion on artificial intelligence and how, of course, it affects our future.
And finally, we will have an award-winning actor, model, scriptwriter, and movie producer, Jumoke Odetola, join us for a chat.
kí ló fún ọ audacity láti wọ inú ilé wa wá láti bá sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń sọ yìí. ẹ jọ̀ọ́ màmá ṣé ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ ní any business láti ẹ̀ ti ṣe kò sí nǹkan kan tó máa ń wù yín ṣe ju kẹ́ máa wọnú ilé onílé lọ gbogbo ilé ní sí.
Wow. some depth there.
Talk about your boyfriends or something.
In fact, that your boyfriend should just hold first. You know there are many your boyfriends in the world.
Okay.
So I saw something on Twitter that got my attention.
Okay.
As much as it came from a very respectable man of God, I think that's what I said. Yes, Pastor E. Adeboye, mentioning how he once advised one of his sons to fire his secretary because he said he was excited about going to work because he was going to see his secretary. Now, let's even keep Pastor Adeboye aside and talk about the fact that what he said, that was what was interesting to me, that the son was interested in going to work to see because his secretary made him excited. What do you guys have to say about that?
Okay, so let me say something.
Not from the spiritual angle. No Bible quotes. Real life.
Yeah, well, so I'm not going to quote the Bible.
Not yet.
Even though I'm going to quote the Bible. I'm not going to quote it right now. So these things are relative to the person. Now, some of you guys know someone who I had fairly recently, that I'm excited to work with because she understands how to handle my schedule, how to do different things and all of that. So it's always, I don't understand.
Okay, so imagine you had a father in the Lord and he told you, Yomi,
imagine he has.
you need to fire that.
And
you know, so for me, look,
so
this
it depends,
is me.
I think
This is me. When I saw it, on the basis of how it wasn't even the part that got to me. You know, he was talking about marriages and keeping marriage, and then he said, see, if you are interested in going to work because of a person, see that person as a devil. That part was really an off to me. That was deep. Like, you know, so I understand that when what now? Say now from clap dance they start. Okay, yes, I understand that.
I feel
but saying the person, but saying first of all that because there's a potential, the person is a devil and the person should be fired. That means you put somebody else.
Are we talking about potential now, or we're talking about individual motives? Because that's something else.
So,
if somebody has an individual motive, even if the person who is on the receiving side doesn't know what your motive is.
Exactly.
So you're going to do your job better if the people you're working with are interesting to you. Yeah. That's the truth. If someone at the office makes your job easier for you, makes it feel like, yes, you can achieve something that week, by all means, be excited by the people in your environment at work.
I know I'm excited to come to work to see.
I mean, well, like the best people
you better
in
be
your world.
Yeah.
The excitement is different.
Wow, Mike, you're not excited to work with us.
The other people, you are plenty now. Calm down now. Calm down.
Wait, keep talking. Are you excited to see Mike every morning?
Calm down. For him this morning. You
guys are making a car.
Yeah.
Well, he's not eating.
Oh, okay.
That is for another time. It's time for us to take the news update. Yomi, it's all yours.
All right, and the federal government has asked Nigerians to avoid traveling to China over the coronavirus disease spreading across the Asian country. Speaking at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting, Minister of Health Osage Ehanire advised all passengers from China to stay in isolation for 2 weeks before reuniting with their families. The Lagos State Ministry of Health has called on Chinese nationals living in Lagos that will be embarking from China for their New Year celebration and Nigerians that have visited affected countries of coronavirus to present themselves for 10 to 14 days quarantine. This is one of the steps to stop the spread of the new pathogen called coronavirus. Commissioner for Health Akin Abayomi, while briefing journalists on the level of preparedness of the state government to prevent and curb the dangerous disease, said Lagos is ready for the vulnerable outbreak spread. 10 to 14 days represents the incubation period for the infection. Professor Abayomi charged Nigerians, especially Lagosians, not to engage in self-medication or treatment as the state is ready to treat victims free of charge. So far, at least 170 people are dead and about 7,800 cases have been confirmed in mainland China as the Wuhan coronavirus spreads across Asia and the rest of the world. Nearly 60 million people have been under partial or full lockdowns in Chinese cities for a week. There are more than 100 confirmed cases in 19 places outside of China, with the UAE and Finland reporting their first cases. In countries like the United States, South Korea, Japan, and Australia have commenced evacuation from its city offices from Wuhan in China. The UN agency is planning to send international experts to the country to guide the global response to the outbreak. Now, over in Nigeria, the Ondo State government has confirmed 18 deaths of Lassa fever in 4 weeks. It has also recorded 180 confirmed cases of the disease. 6 local governments are currently being affected by Lassa fever in the state. Director of Disease Control at the State Primary Healthcare Board, Victor Adefesoye, confirmed the development while briefing newsmen in Akure, the Ondo State capital.
About 180 confirmed cases, and about 65 of them on admission now. They are receiving treatment. So far, so good. We still maintain the total number of 18 deaths. 18 as at yesterday. So, and by the grace of God, with all the strategies that government is putting in place, we are not likely to have any deaths.
Now, major roads in Nigeria will soon be fixed with the latest repatriation of the Abacha loot. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, says the Federal Executive Council has approved the asset-sharing tripartite agreement between Nigeria, Island of Jersey, and the United States for repatriating looted assets to the tune of $321 million, which includes James Ibori's assets.
Figure for repatriation as it relates to the agreement expected to be signed next week is $321 million. And the government has indeed given commitment that the proceeds of the looted assets upon recovery should be applied to Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Abuja to Kano Road, and Second Niger Bridge.
Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. Stay tuned for the weather update, and after that, sports with Mike.
Yes, we are in the kitchen, and I'm going to spite you for the rest of today for what you said this morning. Boy, it's fine. Mike, what are you doing here?
What's your time when there's something happening in the kitchen?
Is it Pomo that is interesting you this morning?
That Pomo,
Well, people, welcome to the kitchen. Chef. You know, it's always interesting with you. I want to know, what are we doing this morning? The last time we had coated plantain with Gary. Today, what are we coating? Are we coating with Pomo?
No. The way this Pomo is like bedsheet, your roll like this.
You know, when you chew it, it'll be soft and succulent. So tell us, what are we making this morning?
It's just a basic plantain and Pomo breakfast.
Basic?
Yeah.
Basic, eh?
How basic
so
is this?
The way it is designed that
yes,
we would fry the pepper
and
use the Pomo to...
all those,
so you know those
Pomo
yes,
with pepper.
Yeah.
Oh wow, it's going to be an
I do the cutting Pomo small. This is the size.
This part of it small,
this
while some belong.
This long one is for me.
That's variety Pomo.
Okay, so we're using. Is this boiled or is just?
No, it's already boiled.
It's already boiled.
Boiled.
Okay, so just peppers or what is it?
Pepper, tomato. Just
pepper, tomatoes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the fish. What are we doing with the fish?
Yeah, we're going to use the fish to also spice up the dish.
The dish. Oh,
yes.
Okay. So we have plantain, we have onions. This is garlic, I presume.
Yes, garlic.
Yeah. Garlic, our pomo. We have our pepper and tomatoes. We have fish. Is this what? This is smoked fish. But which type exactly? Because I learned that
it's panla now.
Is this panla?
It's panla. You don't use to know panla when you see it.
Just
panla is panla. There's no two different.
The kitchen this morning is fine. Yes, and we have bell peppers. So we have this is cinnamon, yeah.
Yes, cinnamon, soya spice, salt, and just mixed herbs.
Mixed
like
herbs.
Italian.
Oh, okay.
That only costs
so we're pretty much.
Yes.
She didn't say she don't know it. When she sent me to buy car, she was shouting, "How much did she put yaji inside akara?"
I think Mike came to the kitchen to try and run me down this morning.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So everything we're doing is just going to be fried. Why are you frying with palm oil, though? Is it for the stew?
Yes,
for the
for
peppers?
the pepper. Yeah,
Oh,
so we are
okay.
going to use the vegetable oil for the plantain.
For the plantain,
Yes,
okay, okay.
That's basic. So first, the onions and
Onions and the garlic. So is the garlic just for taste, or there's a particular reason?
Just for taste and to give it a nice aroma.
Aroma, okay.
Just going to fry this.
You know when you fry with palm oil, it seems to have some kind of aroma. Like
Yes, it has a different, the aroma, the taste, everything is different.
Yeah,
But why did you choose palm oil instead of vegetable oil?
And it's common with this kind of,
With this kind of
just to give it the kind of little bit of local
Okay.
or homemade
Homemade,
taste.
okay,
Yeah.
but if you want to, you could also use the vegetable oil. Okay.
Just gonna allow this fry a bit.
Okay. So now we're going to put the peppers on fire.
Yes.
How long are we going to leave the onions? Or we're putting it immediately?
Just within 2 minutes or so. Just once we can get the aroma that we need.
That we need,
Yeah,
okay.
just-
So
Oyenuga Kayode, popularly known as Skyboy, is an Afropop artist who started singing at the age of 12. In 2019, he dropped an EP titled I'll Be Famous. His songs are a reflection of his life and experience. Your life and experience, what kind of experiences are we talking about here now?
Outbreaks.
Okay, good. Huh?
Yes.
Skyboy, you already have heartbreaks. You already have heartbreaks like this.
Yes.
You say heartbreaks, that means one on one.
Yes, one-on-one.
How many?
I don't really know. But
Skyboy, man, you don't know. Okay, but yeah, you've been singing since you were in JS2 and all of that. How did it all start for you? How did you know that you want to sing?
no, like when it was not only me, we were two.
Okay.
So we just came together and started creating beats, songs.
Okay.
So we gave ourselves one stage and I've forgotten it.
You forgot the stage name?
Yes.
Skyboy. Okay, all right.
So things like that. But school and just two,
You need to
just
take it
three.
up higher. Okay, higher. Because you know your voice is not.
And the WAEC, WAEC time, so I had to stop.
You stop for because of Junior Egg?
Yes.
You're a good boy. Because I was asking that you're a Malian and all that, because Malians don't write to Egg or something. Okay, but then school and all of that came in, and after school now you've decided that music is what you want to do.
Yes.
Right? All right, cool. So how's it been so far? When did you round up with school? Last year?
Last year.
Last year. So you are going into music now. How's support from your parents? Do they support you for what you're doing?
Yes, this supports me very well.
They do?
100%, but that's like after university.
Yeah, after university. Mommy, daddy, we should allow him. We don't know whether it's this thing that will make him blow now. But wonderful. Well, you're performing for us this morning, so let's feel you, right? Yeah. Take it away.
Me, they can never get me. It's me that's what to keep my shine. Oluwa sky when make it things bright. They can never show me, they can never show me, they can never get me, they can never get me. Because I didn't have money and that wasn't cool. When you cheated me, girl, I felt like a fool. No Nike, no wifey for your kids.
Love it, Skyboy. Love it, love it, love it. Isn't he cute, though? He's really cute. Thank you so much for that performance, but we have to move on now. It's time for our book chat, and we have been joined by Aisha Adams. Now, she is here to talk about her book, The White Elephant, Practical Tips on Marital Issues for Women. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, I feel like this book is coming on air at a very crucial time, especially when just a few days ago in the news, we heard about the conviction of Mariam Sanda. And it was because she alleged, well, it's not alleged anymore since there's a conviction, that she killed her husband. And there are so many issues in marriage that a lot of women are not aware of before they even go in.
Yeah, true.
And you decided to put all your, should I use the word experience?
Yeah, sure.
Into
a book.
Into a book.
Yeah.
So this journey must have been a very deep one for you.
Yes, it was.
What made you make that final decision?
So it was 2016, and I had just had a child. And you know how motherhood makes you take certain leaps that you probably not have thought that you would take. And so I was looking at my child and saying to myself, if my kids grew up and I wasn't around, you know, what would I leave for them? And so for me, this was writing this book for my daughter, writing this for my children so that they have something to guide them, irrespective of whether I was here or not. But beyond that, you know, I have nieces and nephews, and there are loads of women out there that make the wrong choices because we're in this community where we do hush-hush on issues that are deep and serious. We just like to, oh, don't let me talk about it. Don't let me be the one to let the cat out of the bag. Don't let me be the one to make people not make this decision. But you have to say the truth. You have to let people know what they're getting themselves into, because only then can they make the right choices. And so for me, it was a gift to women so that they know what to do and understand what they're getting themselves into.
There are quite a few topics in here. I'm looking through your table of contents here. You talk about careful thinking and adequate research, matching goals. But I'm going to skip over now. It says you also say that the honeymoon is over. Okay, the honeymoon is over. Let's see if we can flip to that area. Okay, now, what do you mean by the honeymoon is over?
Okay, so...
there's a reason why I stopped there, because you actually add and reality steps in. So isn't there that whole notion that the whole marriage should be a honeymoon?
Yes, ideally, we love to have our marriages be honeymoon. Yeah, that will be the ideal. The ideal will be that you live the life you live during the honeymoon period all through the marriage, right? However, the reality is that that's not what happens. And so you have this man who probably before you got married, he was always sending you messages. The moment you say, oh, I'm ill, he's in front of your house. Like, magic wand dropped him in front of your doorstep. And you get married, and then the things start to fall in place. And then the once very caring man becomes very aloof when you're ill. And it goes, oh, you're always ill. Oh, you're always complaining. Oh, and the man who was very okay with you having a dream, having a vision, becomes someone who is very anti, oh, why are you so ambitious? Why are you so... And everything starts to change, and you're just like, okay, but I thought we were, you know, you knew I was doing this, I thought we said this, I thought we did that, and then the battle starts for the woman.
Okay.
Because a lot of women don't go into marriage. I don't know about present-day women, but most African women do not go into marriages intending to live. We go in with, oh, my husband, my crown, hopes, that kind of thing. Dreams. You go there with hopes, which is why there's a part in the book where I talked about managing your expectations.
Expectations is a very big deal. But something that's also a very big deal is the in-laws, and you do go extensively into that. And you talk about research of the in-laws. So a lot of people do research on the man, not the in-laws. Why do you say in-laws and not the man?
Because the truth is that when you marry a man, you marry his family.
Okay.
And families unite. It's not just two people that unite. It's like two generations coming together. And you need to understand that, you need to be clear about the fact that you guys have to be in sync. Because even if you and your husband were to say, okay, you know what, we can work things out. When you have family gatherings, you have naming ceremonies, you have Christmas, or you have Eid celebrations. The basic thing, reality is that family will come together and they would have to relate with one another. If your families are not in sync, if your values are not the same, if one family is very traditional while the other family is very, you know, laid back, you know, no hassles, it would cause a lot of issues. Because very cultural families have cast in stones ideas about how life should be. And then you're just like, no, life is supposed to be flexible. We move with the tide and stuff. And then they're like, what's she talking about? She's, you know, ill-mannered. She's this and she's that. Your life becomes miserable.
I have to take some of the quotes you put in.
What page?
You put in italics here. No worry, I'll just read them out for you. You talked about this particular quote. Don't be fooled by one who recites the Quran. His recitation is but speech, but look to those who act according to it. Now, from a religious point of view, you know, there is even from the Christian point of view, they always say, oh, if you find a man in church, you know, he knows the word of God and all that. I'm thinking about the fact that one who acts according to it. Obviously, it'll mean a lot more to you, the way you quoted it.
So this is it. I give myself I'll use my life as an example. When I married my ex-husband, it was on the basis that, oh, well, one of the reasons was because I believed he knew more Quran than most of the people that came to seek for my hand in marriage.
Okay.
And so that was like, okay, he knew the word of God, and so he would act according to it. Now, it's one thing to know, it's another thing to do.
Okay.
A lot of people know stuff. Nigerians know things. But how many people are proactive? You know, so you have to act on what you learn. The whole idea or the whole essence of religion is not just to, there is the spirit and the letter of religion. So the spirit, the letter is that, okay, there's the word. This is what God has said in the Quran. This is what God has said in the Bible. But how about the letter is that you imbibe it and you embody it. And that is when people are able to see you and say, oh, I want to be this person. I want to have a connection with God, because you are an example of who people who embody spirituality and who embody the values that the books have come to preach. That is when people are attracted towards doing that. Now, unfortunately, many of us are attracted with speech. So on the basis that this person is being, you know, speaking so eloquently about the word of God, and he's just casting and binding, or a Muslim is just reciting the Quran with, tajweed, and you're just like, oh, mashallah, this brother is just on fleek. Oh no, that's not how it works.
All right.
How is he treating people? You know?
How does he treat
How
his
does
family?
he treat his family?
Yeah.
How is he with business transactions? Is he trustworthy?
You know what? I wish we could continue this conversation. It is more than the time we have. But once again, the name of the book is The White Elephant, Practical Tips on Marital Issues for Women. Now, Aisha Adams put this book together based on her experience. And of course, she's been married more than once. So she does know what she's talking about. I would love to hear your comments on this matter. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. We'll be taking a quick break, but we will be back. There's so much more on Wake Up Nigeria.
The kitchen people, Mike has been pretending to be doing something serious, but trust me guys, he has not caused a disaster yet. The food is still in good shape, but if Mike keeps touching it, we're not sure about that.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so we're going to quickly take the menu for what we're preparing this morning for the benefits of those joining us. We have eggs, pomo, palm oil, pepper puree, spring onions, Italian seasoning, milk, plantain, smoked fish, bell peppers, and vegetable oil. So what we're making today is fried plantain with pomo sauce.
Yes, but
You're switching it up a bit.
Yes, yeah, a bit. So for the plantain, we're gonna spice it a little bit.
So we're spicing the plantain up with cinnamon.
Just cinnamon.
Look at what they are showing here. They are showing my skills.
I said you might just keep turning it small, so that we don't see the ingredients on the floor. Chef, do you really want Mike touching this thing? Be honest.
Let's just leave him.
This pomo you have boiled it before, Abi?
Let's just leave him.
The pomo has been boiled before now.
No.
It has not been boiled?
Yeah.
For the benefits of people who are just joining us, let's hold on this plantain and quickly run them through what we did with the pomo and the pepper sauce.
Okay, so for the pomo and the pepper sauce,
yes.
I've already boiled the pepper before.
Yes, before.
So dry up the water, then I fried onions and garlic with palm oil and a little bit of vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Then I added the pepper and fish and the bell peppers and pomo.
But we didn't put everything at the same time.
Yeah, it was not at the same time, just at little intervals.
So it's me that's doing the things, you that is talking that you had.
Okay,
Where is
Mike,
me
tell
that's
us how
doing
you
the
achieved
thing?
that.
Mike, tell us.
How I achieved that?
Yes.
Okay, so you see now when you arrange the pomo, you go and look for pomo, different sheet, you cut the pomo in different densities. See this one now. This one is bed sheet pomo. You understand? So you roll the pomo, you see how the pomo is rolled.
You don't roll it, it's rolled by itself.
See, there's some pomo that you have to put it to the way you want, you understand? So you have different pomo, different density. Then you get pala, you must be pala. You don't use any other fish. Very correct pala fish. You now cut. You're supposed to fry the pala first on this one now. So the pala is crunchy.
Mike, it's not for you.
Oh my days.
Okay, but yeah, we're getting all of this done.
Yes, and then now we're seasoning the plantain with cinnamon and he's lacing it with egg. And we will be back because now we have to move to Yomi as he has a guest who will be taking us on etiquette this morning.
I'm excited about our topic for this morning. Today on etiquette, we're going to be talking about to-do lists, how to make one for your day, week, and the month, and the key things everyone should have on their list. We're here with Janet Ade to talk about this morning, and it's important, and some of us, we start the year with all that excitement, to-do lists.
Yeah, I know.
And then, it's just that consistency that just begins to...
Yeah, it takes a bit of discipline. But let me ask you, do you write down the things that you want to do in a day?
Well, not every day, but in a week, yes, I do. So I have an idea of the things that I want to do this week, then I write them out. Right. But then I don't have this daily schedule that...
because what happens is that some people, the other thing is not important, they can't be bothered to write it. But then the question is this, are you one of those people that gets overwhelmed by the number of things you have to do in a day? Or are you one of those people that tends to forget the whole list that you actually wrote in the morning? Or are you somebody that, you really get really frustrated in the day because there's so much for you to do and you can only get 1 or 2 done, and you had like 5 or 6 to do, and you really get totally disorganized. You're a disorganized person, all right? And the reason why we talk about a to-do list is because it's the best way to pursue your vision, your dreams, your ideas. There are things that, and your goals, it will set the tone for the day. And there's a whole lot of etiquette around it. And it does take discipline, but if you're one of those people that can't keep a to-do list every day, but like you rightly said, keep one for the week, or keep one bi-weekly, all right? But it's always important to at least write down 2 or 3 things daily, right?
One of the things that a lot of people say is when you ask them about to-do lists and things like that, they'll say, look, what Nigerians call eventualities, like unforeseen contingencies, like something came up and then you had to do it. Especially when you live in Lagos and you're a business person, you're trying to make ends meet. You're on one end of town this moment, and then next 2 hours you're on another end of town, and sometimes a lot of things come up that sort of change what your schedule looks like.
It's normal. And that's why we say don't write 10 things on your list because of eventualities. Just write 2 or 3 things that you think that you can accomplish come what may. And even if indeed out of the 3 things you can only get 1 or 2 done, you will still feel accomplished. Other than writing 10 things and you get 1 done, you're not going to feel accomplished at all.
Right.
And with the to-do list as a process, now it's very simple. The first thing you need to do in the morning or the night before is find a quiet place. It could be at your desk, it could be in the car, it could be anywhere around you that is nice and quiet, that gives you thought process.
Yeah, first thing, quiet place.
A nice quiet place, right? And when you get to the quiet place, you can bring out what we call either a planner, a journal, a jotter, a notepad, any one of these. I have all of these. I have so many.
I'm not sure why you have so many. But
I have so many.
So
this is actually a notepad, if you open it.
Okay, so this is a notepad.
If you open it, you just see it gives you space to just write.
To just write, okay.
Just to write, okay?
Just a regular notepad.
Absolutely. This is a planner.
Okay,
this is even more organized for you. So it actually tells you, your meetings for the day, who do you want to call, who do you want to meet.
Is this like a diary?
This is, so if you flip open, you just see, it's sort of like has it mapped out for you.
Oh, right, okay.
Right. It just tells you things that are important for that day to help you in case you don't really know how to structure your day. So you sit down with your planner, your jotter, your notepad, whatever it is that you think that you want to write those things down into. Of course, you're going to have a pen, all right? Begin to write down what your goals are. I'm not even saying that your tasks, now they're 2 different things. What are my goals for this week? Or what is my goal today?
So generally, what do I want to achieve?
What do I want to achieve today? And it could be something as basic as I'm having this meeting with Mr. A or Miss X, and you write that down. And once you've written it down, so you think about your goals for the day, then you now put them down. Then put them down as a to-do list according to priority. So if your meeting is in the morning, you're not going to put it as number 5.
Right.
Your meeting in the morning is number 1. That's the most important thing. So that if anything happens in the day that distracts you because of the environment, because of where we live, because of circumstances, at least that one thing that was at the top of the list, or those 3 things that are at the top of the list, you are able to achieve. Then anything else that happens that day, you will feel like, okay, I have accomplished.
At least I did.
Yes.
I was able
you
to
can pass them on to the next day.
Yeah.
So I say write them down. Once you have your goals, write them down as this is a meeting, I have to call this person, I'm going to this place, I want to, just a few things. I want to read this article or I want to write this article, write them down as a to-do list, but in order of priority. Now, as you can see, I have highlighters there as well.
Yeah, so
sometimes
different
colors. Do what works for you. If you want something to show as the most important, you might choose yellow. Anything I've highlighted in yellow is the most important thing. No matter what, today I must achieve that. Right, and things like in pink can be, later, once I've achieved, they can be the smaller goals. The bigger goals are marked in yellow. I really want to achieve these today. And the smaller goals, if I don't achieve them today, I'll do that tomorrow, okay? And I always say highlight them. It's really important to highlight them. And once you've highlighted them, at the end of the day, go through the goals that you have achieved and say, okay, tick them off, because most times, we have this long list.
Yeah.
I always say either strike them out or tick them off.
So do you want to roll over some of the things that you didn't achieve today to tomorrow?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And it can be the priority for tomorrow. If indeed you couldn't achieve it today, it could be the priority of tomorrow. But always work with a calendar, because sometimes you have marked in your, or you haven't. Somebody tells you there's an event on a certain day. I mean, it's impossible for us to remember everything.
Yeah.
So write it down. Sometimes we call a to-do list diarizing. All right, diarizing in the sense that somebody told me I have an event in 2 weeks' time. Open up your calendar, mark it there, so that by the time you get to that day itself, you would have known that I have this event, so I'm not going to put anything on my to-do list there, and you would have prepared for it. And you wonder why, it sounds cliche or something like that, but it's really important. It sets the tone for your own organization.
There's something I wanted to ask about discipline and consistency, because that's one of the biggest challenges, I think. Usually, so someone's watching now and they're saying to themselves, okay, I've been meaning to get a notepad, I'm going to get it today. I'm going to get that pen and my highlighters and everything, and I'm excited, and I'm going to do this. And so the month of February is great, right? How do I ensure that it's consistent and I maintain that discipline to be able to continue to meet my goals on a daily basis? And
don't beat yourself up if you're not able to open up your to-do list on a daily basis. Don't bother to beat yourself up. But I would say take the whole month of, for instance, February. All right. I would even say go into that month, write down dates that you have important things that you already know now. So I know I have 3 functions in February. I write them down on those dates in my calendar. So most times it's nice to even get a planner, because a planner will just open up the date page for you. Write them down so that in advance you've already done that. And then the other days are bonuses. If you have anything important in this week or next week, write that down. So that when the day does come, if the day is a free day for you and it's not so important, it's not a problem. All right, but then at least you would have highlighted the most important days in that week or in that month, and that sets the tone. And by the time you get into the habit of that, you now get into the habit of this daily routine. But like I said, even daily too, it could even be 3 times a week. It doesn't have to be every day, and it could even be just because I have something important, I must write it down.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So I'm sure someone is listening now and they're saying, okay, yeah, so I'm going to attempt to do this. I've attempted it once or twice before, but now definitely I'm going to be doing this and making it work.
Yeah, try. I mean, and it really does work. It sets the tone for your own leadership and your own organization.
That's amazing. If someone wanted to ask you more questions, how can they reach you on social media?
Absolutely, at Janet Adetu.
Janet Adetu, ask her questions.
Or janetadetu@gmail.com.
You probably will get an opportunity to be mentored by her as well. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. We're heading over to the kitchen now, finding out what the guys are up to over there. I hope you guys are not making a mess in that kitchen.
Mike, should we answer your meat or should we just ignore him?
Just leave, guys. It's not eating anything. Just let you just know now. You should go and plan, go and get some.
She is doing fit. He's the fittest with 6-pack.
No.
So what are we
with 6-pack?
Maybe somebody might ask Janet to do something on kitchen etiquette or something like that.
Yes, kitchen etiquette will be very important.
Be nice.
Yes, so chef, let's give them updates on what Mike has been up to.
I think Mike should give us the updates.
Yes.
I'm more interested in this sauce, because this sauce can do many things. Can use agege bread for this sauce, hot agege bread.
Put the pomo in the middle.
You understand?
That's your burger.
Hot agege bread. Or you know that mold, that bread from that one particular mold, the hot one, the one I used to tear the bread. When you take this sauce and you chew this pomo.
Yes, you can have this with that beans, ewa going.
Please don't start.
I'm going too far. Okay, so we're frying a plantain now. The plantain was dipped in sauce, right?
No, in egg.
In egg, Mike.
It's egg sauce now. It's sauce.
Can you tell us how this was laced?
Okay, I actually use cinnamon
Yes.
to give it a nice flavor.
Yeah.
Then I mix it in the egg, and the egg has milk.
Oh, it has
Yeah,
milk. Okay.
and cinnamon to make
So
it.
it's like plantain milk.
Yes.
Is
just
this,
to-
is this all the plantain you are frying?
Mike, this is not for you.
That's there's something they do. You know? That you come to this place like that, you're frying only 2 plantains. It's not to do you.
Why exactly did you lace it with egg and milk?
And the reason why I use eggs so as to like change the taste, so it's not just blank frying of plantain.
Okay, you know there's so much more we're going to talk about. We're headed into the third hour of the show. You don't want to go anywhere. Your best breakfast show, Wake Up Nigeria, continues shortly.
Well, 2 hours can go by quite fast, especially if you're having lots of fun.
Yeah.
We still have 45 minutes left to share with you.
And now, to cool down after a tough week, you need to tune to Wake Up Nigeria for that morning ray of sunshine. Just something to give you that boost, that extra brightening to your day.
Yes, indeed. And that's why it's still the most anticipated breakfast show on television. And we'll bring you the very best of everything.
We still have quite a bit to go. The studio smells amazing, or amazing. I've not said that in a while.
There's something
amazing.
frying in the kitchen.
Yeah,
look
woohoo!
Oh boy.
Mama, let's go. Let's go there. You know what? I've almost forgotten my name because of that food. Yeah, what's my name again? Yeah, Titi Layo. It's my name.
Choko, you know I'm your biggest fan, right?
Wow.
Who is this?
Really?
Famza? Who is this? Who are you again?
I'm just saying.
I've not
'cause,
started
you know,
with you yet.
it looks
It's me
really.
on to run down. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Remember that term, FFF, friend for food? Remember
Friend
that?
for food.
Remember
yeah, of
that?
course I remember that. Anyway, my name is Yomi Okwe. Don't forget, we're online at tvzentertainment.tv and on Facebook, and our app is also available for download. So yeah, go ahead.
We love seeing those comments. We love hearing from you. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed, Irene. So the rest of the show, what do we have?
Quite
What
a
do
bit,
we have?
actually.
Quite a bit.
We still have art display. Art display from Abdul Latif Salahuddin. He's a visual artist, and he'll be sharing some of his works with us very soon.
We also have the founder of Coven Works. He was here last week, Olushola Amuson, joining us to complete the discussion on artificial intelligence. It was quite brief last week, but also very insightful, incisive. And we're going to be back on that today.
And finally, we have award-winning actor, model, scriptwriter, and movie producer Jumoke Odetola. She'll be joining us soon.
You are my best friend. You won't wear a lot at me. But if you're being Gemini,
You know,
That was deep.
You know, the other day,
Obemi, Gemini. As in, what did you,
Oh, that's what. Oh, wow.
Gemini, wow.
I was going to say that. I don't know how many of you guys saw the Chiwetel film, the one, his directorial debut.
Yeah.
The African.
Of the water, the drought, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
He had to learn the language. It was I think it was Mozambique or one of those countries. He had to learn the language, and throughout the film, like he spoke that language that he learned. So because you know, earlier this in the decade, was it? No, okay, this is a new decade.
Yeah,
Right?
New decade now.
Last.
That's a new decade.
Yeah.
Because I think around 2005 or 2006, I was considering
What?
starring in 1 or 2 Yoruba movies. But I was concerned about the language because I really couldn't. I mean, I can speak your average Lagos Yoruba, but you know, like those deep ones, I wasn't sure that I could do it.
So are you sure now? Can you try? Maybe because Lotokwa is planning to go into production very, very soon. I know it's going to happen this
I'll
year.
have to audition your
all she's waiting for is
I'll probably
that,
release the audition tape.
that is it 40 million now? How much are
Yes,
you waiting
40
for?
million.
40 million.
40 million,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
You can imagine me going to audition
40 million,
with
you
surprise.
will not eat it,
Choco will
and
just be doing you anyhow.
So you'll be
That's
like-
turned around.
No, you'll be like Robert Downey Jr. So you know when Marvel is making budgets for movies, the Marvel budget is 250 million. Robert Downey is like 80 million.
You know that only being in my film will be me helping his career.
Don't
Are you
say that
watching?
too. Don't say that too.
So, you know,
So, one thing about these language rules is there's a script.
Yeah.
And as far as you can get the script down.
Yeah, once you can get it down.
Yeah, get that down, you're good. So I don't
the right intonation and you have a trainer,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you probably can do it. Anyway, we have to take the news now. And the federal government has asked Nigerians to avoid traveling to China over the coronavirus disease spreading across the Asian country. Speaking at the end of the Federal Executive Council meeting, Minister of Health Osage Ehanire advised all passengers from China to stay in isolation for 2 weeks before reuniting with their families. The Lagos State Ministry of Health has also called on Chinese nationals living in Lagos that will be embarking from China for their New Year celebration and Nigerians that have visited affected countries of coronavirus to present themselves for 10 to 14 days quarantine. This is one of the steps to stop the spread of the new pathogen called coronavirus. Commissioner for Health Akin Abayomi, whilst briefing journalists on the level of preparedness of the state government to prevent and curb the dangerous disease, said Lagos is ready for the vulnerable outbreak spread. 10 to 14 days represents the incubation period for the infection. Professor Abayomi charged Nigerians, especially Lagos residents, not to engage in self-medication or treatment, as the state is ready to treat victims free of charge. So far, at least 170 people are dead and about 7,800 cases have been confirmed in mainland China as the Wuhan coronavirus spreads across Asia and the world. Nearly 60 million people have been under partial or full lockdowns in Chinese cities for a week. There are more than 100 confirmed cases in 19 places outside of China, with the UAE and Finland reporting their first cases. Countries like the United States, South Korea, Japan, and Australia have commenced evacuation of their citizens from Wuhan in China. The UN agency is planning to send international experts to the country to guide the global response to the outbreak. And in Ondo State, and the Ondo State government has confirmed 18 deaths of Lassa fever in 4 weeks. It has also recorded 180 confirmed cases of the disease. 6 local governments are currently being affected by Lassa fever in the state. Director of Disease Control of the State Primary Healthcare Board, Victor Adefesiri, confirmed the development while briefing newsmen in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Now, major roads in Nigeria will soon be fixed with the latest repatriation of the Abacha loot. Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, says the Federal Executive Council has approved the asset-sharing tripartite agreement between Nigeria, Island of Jersey, and the United States for repatriating looted assets to the tune of $321 million, which includes James Ibori's assets as well.
Figure for repatriation as it relates to the agreement expected to be signed next week is $321 million. And the government has indeed given commitment that the proceeds of the looted assets upon recovery should be applied to Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Abuja to Kano Road, and Second Niger Bridge.
Now over to Europe, where members of the European Parliament have overwhelmingly backed the terms of the UK's departure from the EU. MEPs ratified the Brexit withdrawal agreement by 621 votes to 49 following an emotional debate in Brussels. After the vote, MEPs marked the UK's exit by singing Odd Like Sign. The UK is due to leave the bloc on Friday. Well, that's it on the news on Wake Up Nigeria for this morning.
You are welcome to another edition of 180 Seconds Travel, where you see beautiful tourist destinations around the world. Today, we will be heading to one of the oldest cities in Thailand, known as Phuket. Phuket is among the world's finest beach destinations with fine white sands, nodding palm trees, glittering seas, and lively towns. It has something for any taste and budget, with hundreds of hotels to choose from, a wide choice of dining and partying options. Aside from visiting the fantastic attractions of Thailand's biggest island, you can take an exhilarating speedboat trip to the many nearby tropical paradises, including the famous Phi Phi Islands, or enjoy a serene cruise around the mystical Phang Nga Bay. The older buildings in Phuket town indicate its former prosperity. The architectural style, called Sino-Portuguese, is European mixed with modern Chinese. Being the oldest city in Thailand, Phuket is blessed with more than 30 amazing beaches to choose from. Patong Beach, Kata, Karon, and Kamala have always been the most popular, but the north of the island reveals some hidden gems for travelers searching for a more romantic atmosphere. There are plenty of really memorable things to do in Phuket. The island itself has a beautiful historical hotel, great viewpoints, and iconic cultural attractions. Some of them are Wat Chalong, Phuket Elephant Sanctuary, and Phuket Fancy. Phuket, as always, boasts the most beautiful beaches in the world, but this little city is more popular for its culinary background, with hundreds of food readily available in restaurants and on the streets. Some of the meals you will be grateful you ate are Tom Yum Goong, Masaman Curry, Kanam Jin Phuket, Mee Hokkien Noodle, and so many more. So if you're looking for a sultry Thai island that can do it all, family-friendly resorts to sleek luxury hideaways, subs to super yachts, beers in the hammock to cocktails at swanky beach clubs, Phuket is a place for all that. Bye for now, and until next time on 180 Seconds, keep seeing the world.
All right, welcome back from that wonderful journey. Now, last week, our discussion caused quite a bit of stir because a number of people came to ask me, I'm talking about, even this morning, like, I remember what you spoke about last week, is my job still safe? I know you've asked that question and a lot more others. Can artificial intelligence be dangerous? How can we apply AI? Well, there is no better person here around to answer that question than Olushola Amusan, who is the founder of CovenWorks, and he's back to conclude our discussion, which we started last week on artificial intelligence. It's great to have you, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You actually did. Somebody even asked me this morning, like, they said that only camera is on. There was this meme. There was a cameraman on a helicopter, and then he's with a camera. And then just underneath you see a drone. I'm like, look, you've taken two jobs. The pilot is not there. The cameraman is not there. So there is quite a bit of people are scared. People are scared and all that. But let's move on. How will artificial intelligence change the future? I think that's where we stopped last week and all of that. Let's pick up from there. How would AI change the future?
Well, that's a huge question. And there are a variety of ways we should begin to look at how AI is going to change the future. I'll give you a few examples because this is a field that impacts on every other field. It impacts on how we live. It impacts on how we love. It impacts on how we learn. It even impacts on how we war, right?
True, very true.
Think about it. Like, several years ago, if you look at the history of humans, our existence has always been that we love other humans, right? So, some have developed relationship with like their pets and all of that. But the amazing thing today is that with artificial intelligence, people can even fall in love with machines, true. with computers, and build a sustaining relationship.
CES 2020, I saw this cat. There's this robot, one of the highlights of CES 2020. And I mean, you had some people who were like, they bought it, took it home. Look, I love this cat.
I love this cat. I mean, it's actually been said by virtue of research that most artificial intelligence chatbots or virtual assistants actually get more sort of like suitors. They get more, they get men, they get women talking to them about love than every other thing. So it changes the way we love, it changes the way we learn, it changes the conversations around healthcare. I'll give you an example around how in the United States and everywhere else around the world, most times when two laboratory, attendants or oncologists who were taking a look at the cancer patient, take a look at the case, 60% of the time they will never have, agreeing results. They always have varying results, 60% of the time. So accuracy is very important in the diagnosis of cancer, for example. Now, did you know that before using or applying new methods like deep learning, which is a part of artificial intelligence, these oncologists actually conducted, or they made patients to go through, very invasive biopsies. They actually had to, take tissues from, these, cancer-affected parts to be able to find out, only to find out that these cancers were benign, not malignant. And because of computer vision, which is part of artificial intelligence, doctors are now able to reduce the amount of benign surgeries by 50%. That is huge.
It is.
That is like people who just don't even need to get a surgery, they've been getting surgeries.
Surgeries, yeah.
And so now with the accuracy of artificial intelligence, we can impact healthcare like never before. We can understand the precedence. We can understand the prevalence of the types of cancers, that are going on. That's healthcare. Look at justice. Now, in India, for example, there's a tribe, there's a particular time, just a few years ago, where the suicide rate was increasing. Farmers were essentially killing themselves because they had borrowed loans, and after taking loans, they realized that their yields are not as much to be able to pay back the loans.
Wow.
Now, they simply just drink up any of the chemicals that they've used the loans to buy because they can't pay back. Now, with artificial intelligence and data, we were able to create new actuarial models that enables these smallholder farmers to be able to predict their yield better using drone technology that can analyze in real time how these yields are supposed to be, so that the lenders will be able to understand what they should expect and be able to provide better kind of offerings. So there are a variety of ways. Think about driverless cars, reducing traffic. Imagine how much time we could spend doing more valuable things if our vehicles can communicate with each other.
Themselves, and
so
we
before
don't
we
have
leave
to.
home, we won't all have to face Third Mainland Bridge because all the vehicles can go in different directions, understanding the best routes to get to work. Think about all of these things. Education, there are 13 million out-of-school children in Nigeria. Conversations are around whether the government has good policies in place, budget and all of that, but other questions are, we don't even have enough teachers for schools, right? So if you think about the future of education, you will realize that it's about individual learning pathways and being able to provide education that is available for all through artificial intelligence. So
understand that there's no way to just put everybody together individually. There are specific things to you that you learn that I might not, pick, when we bundle people all together in the class.
There are
and all
1 billion people living with one disability or the other in the world. It means 1 out of 7 of us have a learning disability. What it means is that all of those guys you packed in class that you thought they were dumb, they were not just able to learn the way our teachers were teaching. So today in the world, you need to be able to create individual learning pathways for every student. And that's expensive to do. So in advanced countries and in countries where they're already embracing AI, they're able to use software to be able to create different learning tools, different assignments, different homeworks, different classwork for each student. Now imagine if we were driving to work and every single thing around us helped us to learn. The billboards could tell us anything we wanted to learn. At CES, they also made some of these demos where, I think it was Delta Airline made this demo where you could actually walk into an airport and with your own virtual reality glass or your special barcode, you can see your own individual pathway looking at the same screen. Everybody can see different pathways.
You see different things.
It's huge. So AI is not an isolated field. It's interwoven with robotics, with virtual reality, with augmented reality, and highly dependent on very solid internet infrastructure.
Now, this leads me to my next question. How can we take advantage of all of this? We know that in Africa here, it hasn't really come to us as much as it is in other places. But how do we set ourselves up so that when it does happen, we take advantage of it?
So first, we should say it is happening. So it's not even when it does happen. It's important for us to realize that it starts with education. It starts with people stakeholders, individuals, government, educators, business people actually knowing about the possibilities, knowing about what is available. You know, I know a few tech enthusiasts who will always be at CES. They're Nigerians, but they've traveled, they fly around the world to just see. Some will read about it, some will watch the videos.
Yeah.
So it starts first with just educating ourselves about what is possible. Now, I'll give you an example in entertainment that fascinates me a lot. If you watch Gemini Man, for example,
Gemini
you
Man,
would see that bringing back a 20-year-old younger version of Will Smith is an application of a technology called generative adversarial networks, which is an application area in AI, GANs, right? The ability of AI to be able to recreate images and videos. So think about it. You're indisposed, or for some reason you want to be in your vacation home, but yet you need to present this show. And there is a version of you simulating. So we just put 100 feeds of your videos, 100 feeds of all your past videos on Wake Up Nigeria. We'll put it through an algorithm, and it reproduces a video of you scripted with your script for this program today, asking intelligent questions in real time, you know, and I'm the only one who has to be here. You know, think about how that is possible. Think about all of the stars we've lost in Nigeria in the movie industry, or maybe we want to sustain or keep. You understand what I'm saying? And this seriously affects the future of entertainment. Because
I have my director,
there are lots of
my producer, Halima, Olamide, my director, all of them, they are there looking at. So they can also replace all of you there now. You know, in that PCR now.
It's huge, and it's many people think about it and say, oh, so what are we going to be doing? The truth is, we're going to, and as long as humans exist, there are going to be new problems. And if there are new problems, it means we're going to be doing entirely new things. So the key thing is, the jobs of today will no longer exist, but there will be new jobs for the future because humans must work.
Wonderful. Olushola Musan is somebody you should really keep tabs with. Please, social media, how do people keep tabs with you and all of that?
By all means, I'm Olushola Musan on Instagram and on Facebook. My Olushola has no H, so it's Olusola Musan.
All right.
Yeah, so follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, and I just released a free AI course that I feel people should just get to know. It starts with first just getting started. You know, they can check that out on www.amusan.ai/learn AI. It helps you to be able to explain artificial intelligence.
Immediately after the show, I'll go check it out. Please go check it out. Follow him on social media, man, so that when something's out, we can ask him questions and all of that. Thank you so much for staying so long with us. He'll be going back to the US tomorrow, or this night, right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was good having you. All right, that's it. I hope you don't get too scared. Well, just follow him on social media and ask the questions. You won't be so scared, right? We'll take a break now, and when we get back, we have our final guest. Don't go away.
Yeah, we're real.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, things
which
might
is
change
my camera?
at some point.
Okay.
How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
You already
we
had
have someone special
Yep.
joining us this morning, and she's concerned about her camera. The way she looks. There she is, looking really pretty.
You know, she's in the industry, so she knows, she understands all of that. So you have to tell her camera what's happening, all of that. Well,
we should give her a script to deliver something for us.
Some lines for us, right?
But she's a friend of the house.
She is.
You know her, you love her. She's an award-winning actress, model, scriptwriter, movie producer, Jumoke Ajoke Odetola.
She started her career acting in English television series before delving into Yoruba movies, which is what you know her for. She has so far starred in a lot of series and movies. Now she's here to talk to us about her amazing journey.
Yeah, we forgot to add that she has several awards.
Like, man, AMVC
US Choice
also.
Awards, and she's amazing. She's amazing.
She's smiling at the AMVC. Like,
we should welcome her with a round of applause.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Award and all that. What was the award for, and how did you get the award?
Okay, the first one was in the year 2016. It was for a movie produced by me, Binta Ofege.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it won
I
in the
remember that
category of Best Indigenous Movie. And the second one was for Somewhere in the Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Also
the one
produced
with
by me.
Dafa Lions, right?
Yeah, Gabriel Afolayan,
Gabriel
Momi Dada.
And
very
your
nice, very nice.
movie you produced picked up an AMVCA. Now that is quite big.
That's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
Anyway, so it's been. I mean, you've been here before. You're a friend of the house, and it's been some time, almost 2 years that you
like
joined
about
us
2 years.
on the
Yeah,
show.
about 2 years.
And it's been progress after progress, movie after movie, achievement after achievement. And
making mistakes too.
Yeah, making mistakes.
Learning.
Waiting Women Want was one film that I thought, okay, not bad.
Okay, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's actually not my movie. I just featured. I got featured in it. Yeah, it's produced by Mr. Shenwoloketui.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Very nice.
Thank you
Okay,
very
so talk
much.
to us about that movie. Talk to us about that movie.
Oh, Waiting Women Want.
Yes. What do women? Because
yes,
what do women really want?
Talking about what women want, I can't speak for everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't speak up for everyone because it's actually a topic no one can talk like you know it or you can. It's complicated. It's complicated, and most times there is this mistake men make. Most men they make. They think, oh, probably she wants something big. Little things matter to women. There are times all she just wants is basic compliment, simple compliment. Look at her, admire her hair. Look at her, tell her something new. Just tell her, I love you. Don't think, oh, I said it yesterday. Why do I have to? No, she needs that reminder.
So
little things. Most times, little things.
It's not
and above all, respect. Respect.
I'm telling you the truth.
You know what?
Some women you're looking for, say, is it fine? I'll chop.
No.
Waiting
women want. Women just want a man. They want security.
Yeah.
A man wouldn't want to be with a man that would make her feel insecure or that would make her feel. Even if she's making mistakes, let her know there are ways to correct her.
Yeah.
Let her see you as someone she can learn from.
And
Do not use her mistakes to hurt her. Do not use things she tells you in confidence to speak against her in future.
Wow. That's deep.
She wouldn't be free to talk to you next time. So these things are little, but
quite deep.
The impact.
So
is
2020 is a big year for many people, and I'm sure for you as well. So talk to us about what you are looking at doing. I know that you're working on a number of projects already. So talk to us about some of them.
Okay, the project I'm working on presently, I'm sorry, I might not be able to share.
Yeah.
But within few months, you start saying, in a month, less than 2 months, you start saying this first quarter, you start saying it, but they are still in the making. There's a kind of announcement. There's a way I want to announce to my lovers. There's a way I want to...
Smiling.
Yes, like, I'm actually very enthusiastic.
So you are producing this one, or you're starring in it?
There are quite a number of projects I'm working on. I'm working on an NGO program. I'm working on producing something new. I've been producing movies, but I'm delving into something new, and I'm very enthusiastic about it. I'm happy. At the same time, I'm anxious too.
I like that. I like that. You know, so earlier on we saw a clip of you, and I love the way you used to dissect people. The way you dissected that man with Yoruba.
Which man?
Okay, let's feel a little bit of her. Let's see. I don't know if it's this one, but let's feel a little bit of her.
Okay.
Just confront your husband.
I love him.
So what about
I love you, Bisola. You are my best friend.
No, you don't love me. Okorira mi, Karina. Kí ló dé tí ìwọ ṣe fi ẹ̀jẹ̀ sínú tó ń tutọ́ fún?
Ìwọ péré lọ́rẹ́ mi. Ó dé fi ọ̀bẹ yìí jẹ mí níṣu. Báwo ni wọ́n ṣe máa wọ inú ilé wa wá? Tẹ́bà fún wọn ní freedom láti wọlé. Kí ló fún wọn audacity láti wọ inú ilé wa wá láti bá sọ gbogbo nǹkan tó ń sọ yìí? Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ màmá, ṣé ẹ̀yin ẹ̀ ní any business láti ẹ̀ ti ṣe? Kò sí nǹkan kan tó máa ń wù yín ṣe ju kẹ́ máa wọnú ilé onílé lọ. Gbogbo ilé ní street yìí ni ẹ mọ̀. Wúmá yìí, ibi tí wọn ò níṣẹ́. Ẹnu dákẹ́ ọ̀jẹ̀, kí ló ń wá kiri?
Tí mò ń wá kiri. Èmi gan-an láàárọ̀ mi tí ìjàmọ̀lá débi tí ń jẹ sẹ̀mó, débi tí ń rí fùfú jẹ. Ṣùgbọ́n a gbọ́dọ̀ kọ́kọ́ yanjú tẹran kókó tó kan tiwa. Bọ́lọ̀ ṣe kọ́ ni.
Ta ló fún ẹ ní certificate pé yàn níwọ náà? Ẹni tá a bá tà ká fi wà tòpà tó lóhun àjìtọ́nà wò. Ẹnu tó fẹ́ fi jàmàlà náà dà. Ṣé ìwọ tó ṣẹnu pẹ́wọ́ ẹsẹ̀ bíi slippers ọlọ́kadà yìí? Ó wá wò pé àmàlà tọ́ sí ẹ. Ìwọ tó jẹ́ kó yẹ kó bọ́ sínú store kó máa jẹ granulated leaves ta kó sínú store fáwọn ẹran tó wà ní zoo.
Èmi.
Kí ló há ẹ lẹ́nu? Sọ fún mi kí ló há ẹ lẹ́nu tó fi lanú lẹ̀ bí hippopotamus tó fẹ́ hibernate tó ṣojú wo godo bíi tòwìwí tó fẹ́ túfọ̀?
Ṣé èmi lẹ wá búnbí láàárọ̀ yìí ni àbò ní nǹkan pàtàkì kan tó gbé yín wá àbí mo lẹ́sẹ̀ yín tẹ́lẹ̀.
No.
I don't understand your
wasn't me. That wasn't me. This
It was you. It was you.
That wasn't me.
Oh my God.
That was a character.
I don't understand Yoruba, but the weight of all those things.
Weighty words.
What was that character about? You tell us about the character.
Okay, the character is just about an overzealous manager. Yeah, because you know most times when you give some people a kind of power, they tend to do as if they have the whole world in their hands.
This thing you said, there are plenty people on this table. Plenty. Many of them are watching me now. No, they are there. There are plenty. You give them small power.
Yeah, they tend to abuse it, and then they feel they have your whole destiny, your whole world is in their hands, like they could control. So it's that kind of, that's the character.
That's the character.
And there is also this R deficiency. I just tried introducing in the character, just to add something new.
Very
yeah,
nice.
actually,
I think it's easy.
I spoke with the director if I could do that. I just wanted to,
just to make something different.
Yeah, just to make something
It's easy to see how you won all those awards.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Dynamic.
It is.
You bring your A game every single time.
It is wonderful. So we have something for you. While there, she wanted to talk to Titi, but let's head over to the kitchen now. You see Titi there and talk.
I've been looking forward to that.
Okay? You looking forward to what? Sit down. You're not coming to the kitchen again with us.
Please, no. See, I'll just faint here because
I'm
not
okay, let's go. This way.
Okay.
Alright.
I've been looking forward to this segment. Now I see, thank you, I see why you get more beautiful and adorable by the day. This kind of food, with this kind of food.
Good.
So our chef did something really interesting with the meal in honor of late Kobe Bryant. He decided to
make it KB.
So you should see that. But quickly run us through what we have here for our guests.
So it's called KB special for Kobe Bryant, and it's just basically plantain and pomo. We fry this pepper sauce and mix it with pomo.
Very nice.
And the plantain, we soaked it with cinnamon and egg. Then I fried it together. And this is the
there you go.
How long did it take you to, with all the soaking, garnishing?
So wait, you know Kobe Bryant? They don't used to eat the one that has Kobe Bryant now.
Loving memory.
Loving memory of Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
So am I supposed to take like 5 seconds?
No, just go ahead and taste it.
Go ahead and dig in. Let us know what you think.
Okay. Let me just take the one that is diced already.
Yeah, we need to start rounding off the show. A big thank you to Homely NG for the kitchen accessories on the show.
Thank you so much to everyone who's been part of the show so far this week. Today was also an amazing episode, but tomorrow is Friday. And you know what that means, people?
Game day.
It's game day. Yes, it's going to be fantastic tomorrow. It's from 6 a.m. We'll be right here. Hopefully you'll be right there too.
All right, see you then.
Have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.
Bye.